1.6 million over 5 years. The nice thing about this is each of those tells you which districts are going to be served roughly and locally, and lead warriors or warriors well, are getting the grant benefits. And it includes the successes as well as those where we are not successful. It's kind of a track record for the year.
Any comments? ERP report.
Oh, I was just going to say, I know that the children, the County's first commission meeting, money market was followed each. They just got graduated and it was great for the first year, and leave it open for the following year. They would probably be renewed, but they just got what they got back. And I was not at the meeting, but I did look at the agenda, and they did approve the budget for 2, 8, and 9, and had all the usual things like attendance, and we had a presentation of the department. They had wonderful demonstrations of the department. Really good. And it would seem that as a result of some of this, some districts that are not involved in some areas are beginning to say, well, maybe we could be after all. So that's good. They're doing good work.
Thank you. All right, financial report.
Three documents in front of you there. Cash flow at the end of May, again, tends to be very good, with the general fund sitting on $20.5 million. Reminder to the board that about $2 million of that is still was at that time the proceeds from the loan that was Classical project. So we should expect a minor dip, or possibly related to that as we maintain this out of the Classical project. So it's a little bit inflated because of the loan proceeds in there. But still, even at $18 million, you can see it's very, very good. Up compared to this 25 last year. So which bodes for a very good closing. Cash is the exact representation of your ending balance. It's a good predictor of how it will keep going. You notice the child development, they only had $330,000 or 372 there. That situation is improved in June. They've got a number of contract payments that have come in that were significant. So their cash situation doesn't look like it's going to be problematic, which is a good sign. That to say, there are some proposals that were out there in terms of cash gains the state was going to play. It might cause problems for us in July and August, but we'll see. And we're in a pretty good position. The worst case is we might have to advance some money gains will come true. The high-speed network is obviously sitting in a very solid position on this cash.
Questions, comments from the board?
Update on the budget here coming up.
So happy.
I can bring that every day.
All right. Well, first of all, just I want to give kudos to Norma and her staff. We've got 2 accountants, Gina and Diane, that work with Carlos, and they pulled together a heck of a lot of data. You're going to see some data here that shows program growth for ICOE, and America has the graphs that show that. And as we continue to grow, it's not just in the size of the budget to grow, but it's the number of programs that go. And so when you try to pull that all together, it almost becomes a geometric problem. It's not just simple arithmetic, but the number of errors seem to be geometric in their creation, self-creation. So Norman and staff have done a great job putting this together. We are asking you to adopt one of the toughest budgets I've ever asked this board to adopt, with a deficit of $1.9 million. That said, it's easily a budget that we can afford. We're not simply a budget that we cannot afford. And we've got some great graphs, or some data Norman's going to show where a couple of years ago we asked you to adopt a budget with $1.8 million. in deficit at the start of the year. And then we finished that year out, we ended up closing with over $2 million to the plus. So our budgets can have huge swings as they go on, and this is usually the low water where we start, and they improve throughout the year, traditionally. This last year, we started with a $1.3 million approved budget with a $1 million deficit. Already, our estimated actuals show that we will have at least a $660,000 surplus, and that's bare minimum. We know it's going to jump much, much higher, probably well over $1 million surplus in the current year. And then you can see that in the cash flow. You can see that you can be more than $1 million in surplus in the current year. So we do change as the year goes on. Why is that? Well, for a number of reasons. Very conservative on our revenue projections. So our original folks go out and we get a lot of revenues and contracts from districts. If we don't know we're going to get that revenue, we don't put it in the budget. So they have reserves that they use, and the reserves that are set up to cover them in those 4 times. And so that's one of the reasons we start with deficits. Some reasons are we have programs that just have balances. We just recently got the $1.5 million grant, what's it called, John? In this department, the $800,000 we have to spend in the next 2 years.
Yeah, it's English language learner, ELL.
And it's a grant, and so the $800,000 shows up in revenue in the current year, but we'll spend it all mostly next year. So that creates a deficit. So those are the types of situations that we usually start the year off with. Another thing that we do is we usually start the year off with kind of worst case projections on expenditures. You know, what's the most we're going to spend. And of course, we never fully expend our account lines as the year goes on, and we conserve and save money. So all those things add up to normally a budget that starts as a deficit and improves as our year goes on. We have here normal documents that Norma puts forth to you. Also want to get questions about the org chart. You know, it's a big document, and people wonder why we do it and what's it for. It's a form of our position control. Okay, and when you adopt this budget, you approve this budget. These are the positions that are in the budget. This document is prepared simultaneously as the numbers are for the budget. So what you're approving when you approve the salaries, these are the bodies that equate to those salaries. This is a parallel process. So it's not 2 documents done at 2 different times. And so what I can tell you is if you want to know where you're spending all the money in salaries at in special ed, you go into special ed, you can see all the hundreds and hundreds of people that work for the special ed division. It gives you that information out there. So it serves 2 purposes. It keeps the public informed, but it also serves as our position control system, if you will, in a sense, until we get a more elaborate position control system. With that, I'm going to hand it off to Norma for her star-studded presentation.
No
pressure.
I felt flattery, timing, and he said that I can only have so much time, and I think
I
you
took half of it. I didn't get the memo, I'm sorry.
No. But again, I think a lot of many things to all the people that have put all of the packets together in the sense of pulling the information from every single person, from fiscal managers to our directors that work with their fiscal managers, and all the way up into our office. And like Damon said, I'm just blessed to have a wonderful staff that can keep everything together and making sure that we submit this information, the most latest and greatest up to the last minute of changes that occur within our budget, and get that information to our board to make informative decisions. We have here, like Damon mentioned, we have this big old nice beautiful binder that I know Mrs. Singer just loves to read on a Friday night. And we have, as Damon mentioned, just our mission statement, the org chart, which I was pleased to see that even Mr. Anderson used it, just to show and highlight the changes within our organization. So that's kind of nice that
You follow which